Okay, I see. There's at least one person watching. Can you hear me? Make sure mic's working properly before we really get started. So I'd say, okay, Dingo, is my audio going out? Can you hear me? Okay, good. Uh, since it's just me and you here right now, I'm gonna wait a few minutes. Hopefully some more folks come along. Uh, I know Boozy's still going, so I know I can't compete with his audience. But he doesn't keep a schedule. He could be going until 9, he could be going until midnight. I never fucking know, and I can't and won't schedule around him. Well, dear, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're officially middle-aged now. That's happened. You're officially middle-aged. Just to verify, in addition to, how's the audio balance between my voice and the music? Yes, are you able to hear both, or is one overwhelming the other? Okay, that's about what I want. That's about what I want for it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and if folks come along, they'll come along. Since this will go up on video on demand, hey, someone might come in to check it out later, so I'll go ahead and give the spiel. I'm Dante. I primarily stream tabletop games, but as the ongoing apocalypse has everyone's schedules a little iffy, that's delayed our being back even it's delayed our being back even further. So we do finally have a World of Darkness console game out now, so why not let's at least stream that. This is Vampire the Masquerade-Coteries of New York. It is based off of the most recent edition of Vampire the Masquerade, 5th edition of V5 as it's known in the parlance these days. There's been some rather significant changes to the world of the Kindred since revised and 20th anniversary edition. The Sabbat have fucked off to the Middle East for the most part. The Anarchs and the Camarilla are at war. The Bruja have left the Camarilla after one of their elders emptying a shotgun into the head of the Camarilla. Literally. The guy's head exploded in a gathering in Vienna. And here we are in New York. So, we're going to get started with a new game. A new slot there. And we've got 3 choices for our clan. We have Clan Bruja, the rebel against power and rage against authority. A seemingly insignificant man with significant ideas will join their ranks tonight. Clan Ventru, the aristocratic blue bloods embody wealth, sovereignty, and control. A top-level corporate executive will join their ranks tonight. Or Clan Toreador. Diva seeks thrills of art, romance, cruelty, amidst stagnant undeath. A tormented artist will join their ranks tonight. So, who are we going to be tonight, Phyllis? Well, I don't think I've ever played a Toreador. I'm not quite the artiste for it, so let's go with that. We'll go ahead and keep this young man's canon name, Lamar. And let's tell a vampire story. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. That we're all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing right now, by the way. Fate? You decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my fate was I flew too close to the sun. Makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, a spark in my eye, the one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation Kindred, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me that the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. Such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggarts and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was about fate. A message saying you were eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom. It was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if one's given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. You're a chatty son of a bitch, aren't you? My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Okay, that implies there's a lot of coffins coming in at JFK, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get me wrong. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breeze the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York. And I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. You stifle a yawn. It's been a slow evening. A little bit of red liquid left in your glass, and the crumbs on your plate remind you that, if nothing else, these art exhibitions at least come with some decent wine and legit catering. And yeah, it's fun to talk about your work on display, even if you end up discussing it with pretty much the same people at each such occasion. And aside, I work in a modern art museum. I will tell you from experience, every single gallery opening, every single exhibition opening, it is the same 30 people every single time. I know some of them by name at this point. They recognize me, and that scares me. You've already met that one critic who keeps telling you with self-assured authority how you should pursue a different artistic avenue. And then there's the obligatory doe-eyed art student who's oh so impressed with your technique. To be fair, you're not all that happy with your latest piece, but hey, it's not the worst thing you've seen tonight. That ignoble, dubious honor belongs to one of the other paintings on display. Yet, its author, currently being paraded around by his rich parents, has barely been able to grab a bite of the fancy canapé. So many sycophants to me, so little time. For a moment, you think that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you should take the critic's advice, cut your losses, sell out to some corporation and get it over with. And as if the universe wanted to validate that train of thought, that's the exact moment your sister Emma decides to pop up in your view. So, let me get this straight. Cushy corporate jobs are selling out, but supporting a billionaire's vanity project is totally fine with you. Hi, Em. You absolutely despise her as an artist. While you're struggling to uphold some nebulous ideals of what art is meant to be, she's perfecting her ways of mooching off the system. Shamelessly preying on little-known street art and niche internet memes, she repackages them as bougie-friendly collages. So it's perhaps no wonder that the New York Times has recently dubbed her a mind-blowing explorer of digital art's extreme possibilities. But, in spite of all that, you absolutely love her as a person, even as you welcome her by smacking the back of her head, a gesture meant to convey nothing but deep affection. No, but seriously, supporting young artists, my ass. I don't know what kind of money you got for this piece, but I doubt it was even a fraction of what it's going to be worth in tax benefits. The gallery owner actually said that if he had to choose his most valuable audience, it would be the IRS, and I'm pretty sure he was only half kidding. You mumble a non-answer and then seg into a different subject, trying to preemptively quell her repeated offer to get you a steady job. Of course, she proves as insistent as ever. You know, sometimes I just don't get you. On one hand, you wouldn't be caught dead taking money from the inevitable winner of the culture wars. On the other, if someone gave you the chance to collaborate on some dumbass Oscar bait flick sponsored by Larry Ellison's bailout fund, you'd do that shit for free. She rolls her eyes and asks, you know what the only difference is between the art scene and the culture industry? The culture industry actually pays your bills. As expected of someone who's given up on attempts to infuse her work with any sort of enduring quality, and decided to just keep responding to the zeitgeist. She claims to happily accept the fact that after she dies, both she and her work will end up in a landfill. You know, I appreciate our narrator's snark, but I also kind of want to slap the shit out of the guy. When you respond that you prefer chasing a 1 in a million chance to immortalize yourself, she claims it reeks of an overinflated ego. Yeah, she's right. But you've been down this road too many times before, and managed to accept that she'll never understand what's truly important to you. Slowly but surely, you move on to more agreeable topics. Your plans to finally get hammered together, or the most recent crop of garbage Netflix shows your friends have tricked you into trying out. Oh god, there's a list of those, aren't there? Dingo, I can hear your eyes rolling right now. Alright, gotta go. I've got a date. She peeks at a bunch of middle-aged men in expensive suits who have stopped pretending to care about the exhibition and are exchanging the worst lecherous jokes they've gotten their stale repartee. Have fun with your friends, class trader. The fuck, lady? Which one of us is apparently doing gigs for the bougie New York Times art pieces, and which one of us is trying to actually do art? Yeah, fuck you, lady. She gives you a hug and heads for a nearby elevator. There goes the pleasant part of the evening. So you decide to delay the inevitable and catch a quick smoke break. Truth be told, people aren't exactly lining up to chat about your work anyway. As you leave your post, you start tapping your pockets in search of a lighter. Instead, you find a $100 bill you're absolutely sure wasn't there before. Yo, I've been to a lot of art exhibitions, mind you, I was working for them, and nobody just slipped cash into me. I wish they would. It'd make my job a lot more tolerable. Jesus Christ, Em, you're the worst. And the best. You can feel your cheeks turn red, but you gratefully put the money in your wallet and move outside. When you reach the balcony, you look out at New York City and light the second-to-last cigarette left in the pack. You're alone. It's not silent. The metropolitan hum is ever present, even this high up. But it's a good deal more intimate than what's behind your back. You lean over the railing and look down. The streetlights beckon more than usual. In your mind's eye, you see yourself as your final artwork, beautifully splattered all over the pavement. Oh, Jesus, we're tragically hip, aren't we? Working title, Delusion of Grandeur. The author, a brilliant artistic soul crushed by the unfeeling reality, gone too soon. You chuckle and flick the cigarette into the air. Freshened up by the night's cool breeze, you squeeze back into the stuffy interior. You barely make it a few steps before lethargy sets back in. It's like you never left. Still, something in the room feels different. Your eyes are drawn to a handsome young man, neatly dressed and groomed, exuding the air of a true artiste. Okay, so I can kill that dude, right? And the best part? He's intently looking at your painting. The gallery is almost like an art installation itself now. People standing in silent awe, the guy like a beacon drawing everybody's attention. Hushed conversations about the guests can be heard from every corner of the gallery. Your heart is pounding with excitement. You approach, feeling like a kid trying to get close to a deer in the woods, but afraid you'll scare it away. Yo, are you trying to sell a paint or are you trying to get laid? The man turns to you and you stop in your tracks, entranced. So this is one of your pieces. Oh my god, I want to kill you just for your outfit. Jesus. Fuck, dude. The interview with the vampire novels were over in the 90s. The Lestat thing is done. You manage to mumble an affirmation. Tell me about it. Please. As you start discussing your inspiration, technique, and process, the man's eyes lock onto the painting again. He keeps interjecting, making knowing remarks. This guy gets it. He really gets it. The world around you disappears. You'll say anything, do anything to keep his attention on you. But you realize you don't need to. He's into your art. He's into you. I want to buy it. And I want your company. I need to talk to you. You'll like what I have to say. You coming on to me, dude? Because you ain't my type. Spoken matter-of-factly, served straight up, like he knows that you won't refuse. That you can't refuse. An hour later, you find yourself in his apartment, one of many, you presume, with your self-esteem all but patched up and your head full of vintage wine. You tell your host a lot. In fact, it seems like you're telling him everything. Where you came from, how you ended up in New York, how you had to take out a loan to appear at tonight's event, how you took the long look down the balcony. As you thought about taking the plunge, and this time you were only half joking. You feel miserable. You start crying. He holds you in his arms. You feel calmer. The tears stop flowing. It's been so long since you last had someone you could just, not just talk to and communicate with, but seen by. Who knows? Maybe there's hope for you yet. That feeling of bliss is the last thing you remember before passing out. Next thing you know, you're lying on the couch in that same apartment, hungry and dehydrated. How long's it been? Hours? Days? More? Feeling weak, confused, abandoned? You look around in a panic. Is he still here? Thank God, yes, there he is, standing in the doorway. His voice breaks the silence and fills you with hope, until you realize what he's saying. I am sorry. I hope that maybe one night you will forgive me. Always remember that in our parting moment I wish you well. You try to speak, ask him to stay, but no voice leaves your parched throat. You taste something in your lips. Wiping your mouth leaves a crimson stain on your hand. It's not the wine. What the fuck? The door of the apartment closes behind him. Alone. Again. Then the pain hits. The head, a lurching in your stomach, a burning in your arms and legs is all you can focus on. A panic takes you. You fall from the sofa and hit a wine glass. It flies into a wall, shattering it into bits. A mumble from the corner of the room indicates that you're not as alone as you thought. Where you're lying, you see only a feminine shape stirring awake. You crawl towards the woman inch by inch. The pain turns into an urge. You need to get close to her. You begin to see details. The long hair shrouding her face, the worn-out New York City hoodie thrown over her skimpy dress. She opens her eyes, moves her locks to the side, exposes her neck. A rabid instinct takes you. In the blink of an eye, you find yourself buried in her hair, smelling her sweat mixed with just a hint of cheap perfume. You bite down and drink the blood from her veins. Wait. What is happening? You break away. You look at the girl. She lets out a sigh and goes limp and unconscious again. You try to crawl back. Her dress rolled up to the side. You glance at her naked thigh. You lose control again. Bite her leg. Drink deep from the artery. It's intoxicating. It's bliss like you've never known before. It's beautiful. You break away again. Fall to your back. What the hell was that? Did you really drink her blood? She's not moving. Oh God, she's not moving. You check her pulse. She's cold to the touch. Nothing. No heartbeat. No sign of breathing. That's when it hits you. Your chest isn't moving either. Your heart's not beating. You're cold to the touch. You reach for your phone. It's not there. Where'd you leave it? Or maybe he took it. Impossible to say. You stumble around the apartment, but find nothing you can use to call for help. You need to get out of here. Now. Look outside the window. You're high above the streets. There's no balcony, and the building's exterior is glass almost all the way down. You never survived the jump. Maybe that's precisely why you should leave the room this way. You've just killed somebody. Your life is essentially over. Sickening void is opening in your stomach, warning you that your reality is about to turn into unbearable hell. A voice in the back of your head tells you that the smartest course of action is to take the leap before it does. And the more you argue with it, the more reasonable it sounds. You're just about ready to pick up on one of the chairs, try to break the window when you hear the clicking of keys in the lock. You freeze in place. This is bad. Your thoughts start racing, desperately. Instead of a rational course of action, Only visions of false hope come to mind. What if it's him? What if he's hatching into heart? What if he sent someone for me? You almost feel your heartbeat again with excitement as the doors open. Almost. Not quite. The man enters, not the one you expected. He's tall, broad-shouldered, handsome with darkish skin. His suit is stylish and immaculate. You've never seen him in your life, but you immediately pass his sharp looks to see his sharper nature. He's a predator, and if you're not careful, you might become his prey. Good evening. I'm here to pick you up. Okay, yeah, no. Dude looking at me like that, I'm assuming he's a predator no matter what. I don't care what the circumstances are. I'm assuming this dude's looking to fuck me up somehow. A deep, emotionless voice. He turns his eyes to the lifeless body of the girl in the New York hoodie, raises an eyebrow. Okay. This ain't what it looks like. This ain't what it looks like. Please, you have to help me. That's what I'm here for, after a fashion. He approaches the bed to examine the corpse from up close. Well, this is unfortunate, but preferably going insane from hunger. Quite a nice gesture, actually, if troublesome. He briefly looks at you with something like pity in his eyes, then changes his expression to a perfectly blank one. Listen, you may perceive your current situation as something out of the ordinary, but I've met hundreds of lost sheep like you, and you see, they tended to fall into two categories. First, there were the smart ones, those who carefully obeyed my every word and didn't pull off any stupid stunts. They always got where they needed to go, safe and sound. Then there were the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, a lot of them never reached their destination at all. The man talks in a bored, professional tone, giving off the impression that he really has delivered the speech countless times by now. So you see, despite being a smart person, I'm a Mets fan. I love baseball, and it inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system to determine if someone is dumb. If you get on my nerves 1 or 2 times, well, I understand not all of us perform well in stressful circumstances. But if you do it 3 times, I understand there will be no excuse, no forgiveness, no mercy. His presence changes ever so slightly. Say, I understand, sir. Now. Feeling an overwhelming, barely resistible urge to fulfill his demand. You know what? We're going to question him. We're not going to directly try to piss him off, but we're going to question him. Can you just tell me what's going on here? No, and that is your first strike. Well, fuck you too, buddy. Alright, have you got anyone you'd like to inform about your current situation and tell them you're alright? Flashes his fangs for a briefly as he talks. For some reason, the sight causes a chill to run down your spine. Something's wrong with him. Someone closest to you? Yeah, I ain't telling you shit, Holmes. His name's Eduardo. He's my boyfriend. He lives in Queens. He's a barista, and, the stranger's been watching you with wary eyes since the moment you started talking, but only interrupts you at the first moment of visible hesitation. You're 100 years too young to try and fool me, whelp. Even your tells have tells. Second strike. Try again. Your first instinct is to protest, but you realize your thoughts are still too scrambled and panicked to come up with anything coherent. You give up on all planned attempts to provide pour water with convincing psychological depth. And Emma, my sister, she's probably having a night out in Brooklyn with her artiste friends. Can I call her now? You take out your phone while asking the question. It was in your pocket all along. It must have been panic talking before. He shakes his head and points to the hooded corpse next to him. If you want to implicate her, go ahead. I think we'd all be better off if you let me make sure that she only knows what she needs to know. Yeah, agreed. I see we've got some folks coming in. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. We're streaming Vampire the Masquerade-Coteries of New York. We got picked up by a guy at a art exhibition that we were holding. He apparently got us drunk, turned us into a vampire, left us to kill a co-ed, and this dude showed up looking to telling us what to do, where he's gonna fuck us up. Give me your phone number. I'll have someone get in touch with her. You oblige and hand him a smartphone so we can copy the number from your list of contacts. Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this night onwards, you are subject to a different set of laws than the ones you grew up with, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You're forbidden from letting anyone know that you're still alive. You're forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes to search for you, it's over, both for you and them. He interrupts his monotone recitation to stare deep into your eyes. So if you don't want someone to find your poor sister's body in the Hudson River next week, cooperate. The sight of his fangs again, and another physical flight or flight response. You played right into his hands, putting him in danger. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. By now, you're absolutely sure he's just toying with you, provoking you just to feed on your reactions. He hasn't told you where you're going yet, but he's already made it abundantly clear that a lot of people struggled hard to avoid getting there. You'd be far more eager to cooperate if he never raised the subject, but he made it a point to make your fear the unknown. He's pushing you, but to what end? Does he want to intimidate you into complete submission? Is he hoping to give him an excuse to get rid of you? Or maybe he's testing you, forcing you to show what you're made of. Somehow he makes all these options seem plausible at once. Alright, I think that's enough lectures for today. He takes a glance at his silver watch. It's a Petite Philippe, the kind of brand mere mortals never seen outside of luxury lifestyle magazines. Just who are we dealing with here? If there happens to be anybody watching who knows like high fashion, haute couture, or however you pronounce the stuff, is Petite Philippe an actual thing, or is that something they made up for this? Because if it's a real thing, I'm assuming it's something that I will never in history afford. It's past 3 a.m. now. The sun will come up in just a few hours, so we don't have much time. Come. We need to leave so that the corpse can be taken care of. Turns your back on you to unlock the door. Actual humans can afford these things. Okay, I'm gonna just go with the dude, because attacking from the back, he's gonna kill my ass, and sorry, my character is black, I'm in New York, and there's a dead white girl in the room. I ain't waiting for the cops. Okay. You obediently follow him out of the room. Before he locks it again, you manage to take a final glimpse of the corpse. Dingo, did you just copy paste that from their website or something, or did you write them a damn press release? Of course, it's from their own PR. It's a $2.5 million watch. Why is that a fucking thing? You feel a pang of conscience, but not because of your victim's horrible fate. It's because you don't feel guilty, even though you know you should. Something inside of you that was still there yesterday has definitely died tonight. You wonder if you even recognize yourself in the mirror. The stranger shows you to the elevator, and you go to the ground floor. During an awkward ride, your dazed and confused mind desperately searches for a glimmer of hope, and eventually comes across one. Maybe you'll find the man you met earlier this night. Okay. Yeah, what the fuck did this dude do to me? Why did that man target me? What was their motive? That's what I'd like to know. As of yet, he's unidentified. They've left no trace, and it's obvious they're not planning to come back for you. If, and that's a big if, you ever see them again, it will be tomorrow, and probably for the last time. Yeah, I want to see this asshole. I want to see him. This compulsion's natural, but for now, I can only say this. It lies in his best interest never to see you again. The elevator opens to an empty hall. You walk outside, past the night guard's post, which is empty. Christ, this asshole killed the guard, didn't he? The cold night air reminds you of the balcony just a few hours ago. The man motions into a black Cadillac Escalade. Oh, they are really getting on the brand name flash in this game, ain't they? Take a seat in the back, please. You get inside. The man closes the car door behind you. You hear a click as it locks. The Cadillac's almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets in the driver's seat, starts the engine, drives away without comment. Yeah, am I drugged? Because if nothing else, that co-ed that I apparently ate, that she was on something, or she was drunk or something. Was I drugged? Am I tripping? I don't think so, but then again, who knows what that girl had in her bloodstream. He stops mid-sentence and shakes his head. Forgive me, I'm not in a talkative mood. This won't be a long drive. Patience. Dead silence fills the car. You close your eyelids and sink back into your thoughts. A blurry after-image of the man who bought your painting is still there. Strange, you never felt this way about anybody. Makes you happy, even though you have a nagging thought that there's something fundamentally abusive about this attraction. But then, the girl's hair spilled over the purple hoodie, and her blood spilled over the cold floor, come into sharp focus. You wince. You want to cry. As if there's no more tears left in you. After what feels like an eternity, the car comes to a stop. You get out in an underground parking lot. It's an ugly, concrete, gray thing. Empty, but for the car you came in. It looks like there's a room beyond a metal door in the wall. Okay, back up. This is not even a parking structure or a parking space. This is just a place where cars are allowed to park. In Manhattan. And there's no other cars here. Bullshit. Guess you'll live to see another night. Follow me. Opens the metal door and lets you inside. Here we are. These are your lodgings for tonight. If you get hungry, again, take a look in the fridge. Tomorrow I will come and pick you up. Full bed, single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, a small humming fridge, and a rattling AC fan in the wall. It's all the coziness of a solitary prison cell. There's claw marks on the inner side of the entrance door. Yeah, no, I need a fucking doctor, dude. I can't feel myself breathing. I can't sense my heartbeat. I need to go to a hospital, man. You're gonna be fine. Listen. Normally, I'd lose my nerve right about now, and things would get nasty, but I get it. You're scared. Don't understand what happened. Trust me, you will learn more tomorrow. But now, I need you to rest, and you need you to rest. Okay, he's trying to play straight with me. Gestures inside the room. Finding no more willpower to resist, you step inside. The stranger nods contently. Good night. He locks the door behind you. Looks very secure and sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there filled with a red liquid, unlabeled. Tomato soup? Feels sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. Kind of grimy and damp. Seeing it makes you grimace, but you're just too tired to not lie down. Your entire body hurts. A dull feeling. It makes you feel heavy. You feel vulnerable and lonely. Usually when that happens, you turn your attention to painting, just to not think about the alternative. Your family upbringing left you with no skills but artistic talent. Creating art used to be something of an unpleasant duty. Somewhere along the line, though, it became the only weapon you had to fight with the existential despair. Some of your best work was created in lieu of impotently crying in bed. Okay, I don't know if this is just pretentious art dude talking, or if this is legitimate human feelings. Hell, you're pretty sure a few of those pieces had your tears mixed in with the paint. Like the painting that led your whole night to this. You look back at your life and it starts looking like a downward spiral. You're so tired. Your entire body tenses up. Before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. Didn't feel quite like sleep, like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept 17 hours straight. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone. Feeling a thump in your chest. Does that qualify you as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you're certain about one thing. You're hungry. Not your stomach rumbling, though. The need to start somewhere your abdomen spreads to your chest, throat, and the back of your head. You open the fridge. The bag's still there. Take a closer look at it. If it is soup, then its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out and take a whiff and recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint. You remember some of the situations in the past where you found it nauseating. Now it's almost... No, not almost. It's enticing. You know, fuck it. Let's ride this hell train. Drink it. Feels wrong, but right now there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. Hell with it. You pour a bit of the liquid into your mouth. Tastes bland. Reminds you of cheap supermarket juice. Just enough flavor to register as what claims to be. Nothing like the real thing. Nothing like what you had last time. You swallow it. Somehow you don't feel sick. In a weird, messed up way, you can't help but think it feels nourishing. You take a few more sips. And just another one. Suck on the bag a little more. Eventually you find that you've emptied it entirely. You look at the info pressed into the side of the bag. 450 milliliters of it. Even with its blandness, you still feel like having more. You realize your body longs for that intoxication high you felt when the image of that corpse crosses your mind, causing you to wince. What have you become? You try to piece your thoughts together, make sense of it all, when you hear the lock click and see the door open. Standing there is a well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again. That predatory look, like a hawk on a hunt. Somehow more relaxed tonight. Like a tamed hawk, maybe. Okay, yeah, I can see the hawk. It's the eyebrows. Good evening. Sleep well? He notices his discarded, empty bag. I see you had a bit of a snack. Yeah, let's ask the obvious question. Am I still a human being? Luckily, one does not typically shed their entire humanity in 2 nights. You should be fine. Go on. You've got places to be. The car is humming in the empty parking lot just as you outside the door of the cramped room you've spent the day in. The man motions you to it politely, but with a stern look on his face. Yeah, I keep being offered opportunities to jump this guy, and they're good and goddamn well I can't take him. So, get in the car. Okay. Lead the way. After you. You take the back seat again. The door's locked, the stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows. It's of little use. The car is also soundproof, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic humming and the car's engine. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. Check the door handle. Yep, it's locked, alright. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. Nothing new but weight. Okay, even if it wasn't locked, yeah, unless someone's holding a gun to your head, jumping out of a moving car in Manhattan, probably not your best option, dude. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you've realized now that you're hungry? Not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need to start somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, back of the head. Game, you literally just explained this like 5 minutes ago. You try to extract some information out of the man behind the wheel, but you realize you'd prefer to bask in the afterglow of your last meal. You would have expected it, but you spend the rest of the trip lost in your thoughts. A lot of them concern blood. It takes you another 20 minutes to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York, I'm much certain. Queens, maybe? Wait, you know exactly where you are. The nice looking 2-story building has a logo you recognize immediately. The Art Hole, an avant-garde gallery. You sold that collection of bagged viscera and body parts by, can't quite remember the guy's name, he's Brazilian, you think. Fabio something or another? And right there is the extent of my modern art knowledge. I know the exhibition they're referring to. It's one that Rudy Giuliani tried to have thrown out of the city. Probably the only time in history me and Rudy Giuliani will agree on anything, but for very different reasons. After me, no sudden movements, please. You've never been inside, not quite your style, but the place has quite the cult following. You keep racking your brain for more facts, hoping they'll help you with whatever you got into. 2 large men in suits flank the door to the gallery on both sides. They give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger who guides you, you walk inside. The gallery's full, which is unusual at this hour, to say the least. Again, I work in a modern art museum. Believe me, these fuckers would be there at midnight if we let them. About 24 faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for the most part, but it's unclear what they've gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. And again, this is just a modern art gathering. Most of the guys that come to these events are there to be seen. They don't understand what they're looking at any more than I do. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you as wishing to appraise your worth. Memories come back to you like a bad case of PTSD. How many times before has someone judged you impassively or decisively through your art? Share a piece of yourself with the world and it'd respond by making you feel like garbage. It always took a lot of effort not to lose your cool and tell all of them to shove their opinions up their collective asses. Okay, as someone who enjoys writing, this is a little too real. Now, looking around, it feels like you've become another artwork commodity to be judged by a bunch of obscenely wealthy, out-of-touch assholes. Makes you want to scream. Good evening, dear. And to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. The gallery, a crowd of strangers, you being brought here against your will, for what purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, miss. You're addressing the Prince of New York City, Halim Panard, child of Machala. Thank you, my sheriff. I am capable of introducing myself. She's somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still, the entire room is intensely focused on her voice. She has influence over these people, that much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the gathered audience. Okay, bitch, you're gonna punish me for some other asshole killing me. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. My sire? Wait, my sire? You mean the man I met at the gallery? That's one of the things we're here to ascertain. You are about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling and what happened to you on your way here. Court? Prince? Is some a secret society make-believe? Oh my god, are we at a LARP? A trusted informant who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. Yeah, Dingo, all hail. Interestingly, his sire made use of an older haven of one of the clan of the Rose for the embrace. They were even thoughtful enough to leave a local woman for the legend to slake his thirst on. Again, we're using euphemisms for the fact that I ate a lady. Despite some reservations, he offered little resistance last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. I was pleased not to have to force his compliance. We had a quick chat, but wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged him to join me, which he did without struggle, a pleasant departure from my usual routine, I must say. His thirst partially slaked with the bagged blood we kept in the safe house. We had a pleasant enough drive here. The story ends with us arriving in Elysium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman, curly, almost blood-red hair, and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? Thank you, Kadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior, and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is the matter of your sire. The person who brought you here, who brought you where Kadir picked you up from last night. Who were they? I was a really good-looking dude. All we know. He was beautiful. Charismatic, charming, dark hair, sort of artistic mess. He had an accent I couldn't recognize. Took notice of my art. I bought a piece, in fact. I want to meet him again. Artistic mess. Is that how we're describing Lestat cosplay now? The last sentence came out almost involuntarily. You immediately feel ashamed, like a sad puppy whimpering after their master. Yes, you do want to meet that man again. It's an urge deeper than anything you've ever felt. Maybe even love? Again, this asshole killed me. No, that's idiotic. He never even introduced himself to you. He used you. The asshole just plain used you. What? Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not. Or at least not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. He bought my painting. There's probably a receipt. Yeah, he bought my painting at the gallery. Didn't pay in cash, I think. Maybe we can track him that way? Oh. Did your outlook of him change all of a sudden? He smirked, seemingly enjoying your misery. Thanks for that observation. I will investigate this later. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Stay your hand for just a moment, Kadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. Seems strangely relieved. Bitch, am I on trial? The prince leaves the main showroom and a handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir what all that talk of traditions and councils was when the red-headed woman approaches you. Sophie? Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. What for? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak with him. You might not have to sting your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came, and you're left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. I'm sorry, the phrase woman in the red dress has been permanently ruined for me by the Matrix. That's all I'm seeing in my head right now, and I'm hearing all of this in Lawrence Fishburne's voice. About them, fledgling. You are in quite the pickle. What was that about a sword? Wait, did I hear that right? What did he say about a sword? Your hearing isn't faulty. We only have a short time before the prince hears her counsel out, and Kadir returns here with his blade. So, listen, please. Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? Oh yes, I'm well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire. The fact remains. The beings called vampires, you're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale. Really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No. Not wine. That's not the right thickness. And not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. Makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it, and your breathing hasn't returned, your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keep saying, what the fuck, on repeat. Really, I think that's probably the more sensible voice here. You're surprised. This is often how it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If we do nothing, you'll be cut down, as sure day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out, under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight, and your deference to Kadir will work in your favor. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I am not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences. Did you just become my vampire mom? And what if I refuse? What happens if I refuse? I believe I know what the prince will ordain, and I am certain Kadir will do his duty. You, my poor fledgling, will die. For good this time. With me, there's a chance you will not. I can be your guide in this new reality. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her counselor are returning to the showroom. Kadir appears from downstairs as well, and starts walking towards you. When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. Remember my condition. She flashes a heart-melting smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scabbard fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous but one surprisingly intimidating, first and foremost. Kadir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes center stage again. Loyal Kindred of New York City, of the New York City Camarilla, gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. She briefly addresses you. I want you to know that this was not an easy decision to make. For your part, you have not done anything to earn our ire. I do feel a genuine sorrow for what must be done. We are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. There is no place for tolerating dissent when our very existence is under constant threat. Although I acknowledge some of my council's divergent opinions on this. He takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before. Rather plainly dressed, shy-looking man whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. Bows his head in deference. I hold the final authority over this fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny that must be punished. The sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Kadir? Your scraping sound, and see that the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. It's a beautifully detailed blade, which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, when it quickly vanishes to give way to grim determination. Well, dude, I'm sorry you're executing my ass is breaking you up so badly. And he's out to bat. You will not get another chance to speak up. Yeah, Mercy! Yo, hey, Mercy, check it out! Make your choice. I don't want to die. Spare me, please. Prince, if I may ask you to stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer? Kadir looks at the prince, awaiting a response, sword still hanging above him, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley? Yes, if I may. At first, the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood in the room. The bored elite suddenly look at you with aroused interest, some of them dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. Well, let's hear it. Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes are on her now, but Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of the distraction. My friends, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper contact should be observed in addition to the letter of our laws. This fledgling is a burden, but with proper guidance, they can become an asset to our domain. Am I to understand that you are volunteering to take this sireless child under your protection? Yes, I happen to think they might hold the potential that would be unfortunate to waste. I do expect their full cooperation, of course. Whispers can be heard again, an incredulous voice or two, a hushed, just behead the fucker. Some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Silence. I ask all of you to make a note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but another will have to be enforced even more firmly in its stead. Until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's a responsibility you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this fledgling and add a valuable ally to our sect in time of need, yes. But I would like to receive the right of destruction over them, if it pleases you. You know what? I'm trying to just not get my head cut off, so I ain't asking too many questions here. I'm worth keeping alive, Prince. Give me a chance to prove myself. That remains to be seen. I do take notice of your tenacity. See that it doesn't become a burden. I shall grant what you ask. Let it be known, Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose will become this fledgling's patron. They shall be considered like sire and child. Miss Langley will take full responsibility for them, and I grant her the right of destruction if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of our most important traditions on this occasion, I expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Substantially so. I hope you will find this verdict satisfactory, Miss Langley. Of course, Prince. Thank you. Very well. She turns to you. What is your name, child? You know what? We're gonna go with my pseudonym. I'm not super comfortable with you knowing my real name. I'm a painter. I've used a moniker before, but that suffice. You may use any name that's appropriate to be utilized in an official manner. My name is Lamar, then. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Lamar. Now, this evening proved to be even more eventful than I anticipated. But with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Kadir, a moment of your time before I let you return to your duties. Of course, Prince. He shoots you a side glance that doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be watched. You will be judged. If need be, you will be punished. The two of them leave the gallery. Well, Lamar, I think we've both already managed to significantly improve each other's evenings. But let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? I think we should have a toast to a new fruitful partnership. She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierges who have now appeared in the showroom to refill the guest glasses. The conventionally handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. He pours into two tall glasses. It's blood again, that much is clear. You're of two minds about drinking it, but the memory of last night's hunger makes you wince. Take a tentative sip. You expected the same blandness tasted a few hours ago, but this one you can actually savor. Smoky and warm, making you think of a cozy cabin in the woods. It does strike you as a strange image for your mind to jump to when drinking human blood, but it is what it is. Never tasted anything like it. Do you like it? I think New York haters have a very bourgeoisie idea of what good blood should taste like. Apologies. You have so many questions. While we're on the topic, perhaps we should start with those related to your sustenance. Yeah, where do you get blood? I'm assuming it's not usually catered. It's kind of weird that you have waiters serving blood. Where do you get it from? That can be a bit of a touchy topic. Let's just say that most of the blood available at events like this is crowdfunded. Did I get that right? It's hard to keep track of modern language. At any rate, what I mean is that there is a plethora of vessels on tap. As for where to get blood when you're not at Elysium, tomorrow I'll take you hunting and we'll explore this topic further. What you need to know right now is that no matter how much you drink, you will always be tempted to have more, unless you consume someone wholly to the last drop. But even that doesn't last. Best start by just taking a simple single sip from a vessel. Be prudent. Hot, fresh blood is more satiating than most anything that can be served in a fancy glass, but it can make you more voracious. As to how much you should have, it depends. If you're frugal, you can survive many nights without a single drink. It's risky, and it will tempt the beast as part of our curse. Beast? Is that beast you mentioned, is that a metaphor, or... Oh, it's quite real, although not in a strictly physical sense. It lives in all of us. Our nature and hunger manifest. Those more religious among us connect it to the biblical Cain, the rage of the first murderer, cursed by God, seething in all his descendants. Hey, evening, Blithwolf. Glad you could join us. We have recently been sired. Buck only knows where our sire is. The Prince of New York has decided to kindly let Miss Langley here take responsibility for us and Leo, decapitating us in an art gallery. The Camarilla, same as it ever was. I, however, am a child of the Enlightenment. Not that it makes my struggle any easier. I have to be very wary, like every other kindred in this city and beyond. Individual kindred have a unique relationship to the beast. What yours is going to be remains to be seen. But you do need to keep it under control. Each outburst endangers not just you, but also the masquerade. The concierge returns to ask for permission to intrude, which Sophie gives with a polite smile, and leans in to whisper in her ear. You note that the gallery is almost empty. I'm being told the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come. The smile she puts on makes you remember the last night's encounter in the showroom. Similar eagerness to spend time with this person overtakes you momentarily, and you follow her outside. Okay, one of her apartments. Lady, how much property do you own in fucking New York? And how many souls have you sold for it? Your sixth sense tells you she's an artistic soul too, and you unwittingly start projecting good qualities onto her. Sophie leads you to a luxurious silver Rolls Royce and invites you to sink in the back. Chauffeur, a broad-shouldered, clean-shaven, middle-aged guy, starts driving immediately. And again, the Rolls Royce. They are really making sure to call out every brand name they can with this. Where did we leave off? I believe I started telling you a bit more about our customs. You've heard the prince refer to our traditions. The chief among them is the masquerade. As you might have gathered from us assembling at a niche gallery after closing time, our comings, goings, and doings tend to be somewhat secretive. We do not advertise our existence. We allow myths and modern fiction to morph and muddle the facts. So to the vast majority of kind, we remain bedtime stories and pop culture icons. Say, is that one television show about a vampire angel still popular? You shake your head in confusion. She shrugs and continues talking, looking a little bit more dejected than before. I'm amused by the fact she feels dejected, the fact that David Boreanaz is no longer playing a vampire. Our clandestine ways help us remain safe, allow us to explain away the occasional trip up to the rational minds of the 21st century humanity, and dictate much of our interactions with mortals. Okay, is there anything the movies get right? There has to be some stuff in the books or movies got right, or is it all just vampire propaganda? There is a kernel of truth in every myth. Those concerning Kindred are no exception. There are mortals who sift through and manage to separate the facts, though it doesn't happen thanks to Hollywood. For one, sunlight burns us. That's why we rest during the day. You felt it, more like being dead than dormant, isn't it? But we have no choice. We are night dwellers, but day sleepers. Some more folk-related threats are just legends, or occasionally a minor nuisance. Garlic, running water, even religious symbols don't repel us unless the wielder is uniquely pure and godly. Stakes through the heart, though, that's something to avoid. They don't destroy, but they do paralyze, which, under the right circumstances, can be the same thing. That's a reason to have somebody like my trusted driver, Gregory. Take making sure you're safe when you drift away. We have many enemies, and they often know their advantage lies with daylight. Do vampires watch each other's backs? There seems to be a community. You mentioned enemies. I guess that makes it necessary to watch each other's backs. Can you count on other vampires for that? She surprises you by letting out a soft chuckle before answering. No. Our little sect supplies social interactions aplenty, but doesn't really encourage counting on someone. Support given in exchange for favors. Yes, that's more like it. Long-term solidarity does occur in the Camarilla, but we are a very politicized organization by necessity. Loyalty to your sire, your prince, and to your sect. When in Elysium, like we were tonight, the sect can appear to be a monolith. The reality is more complex. Outside of official gatherings, shady deals and a quid pro quo mentality reign supreme. Seems to be lost in thought and fall silent for a while, leaving you to ponder all the things you've learned tonight. Still feels absolutely unreal, but as piece after piece of knowledge falls into place, the image becomes like an entirely logical jigsaw puzzle. Whatever you wouldn't believe on your own, you witnessed. Many questions swarm your thoughts, but the one you keep returning to is what your place in this new reality should be. The car stops. You're in the city in front of an old but well-renovated apartment building. We're here. Would you like to see your lodgings? What if I want the place I'm probably still paying for? I've got an apartment I could go back to and sleep there. All my stuff's there anyway. Does it have sunproof blinds? Or a solid, secure door? No, I think you'll find this apartment much safer. Come upstairs. She leads you through a small hall with a night guard who greets Miss Langley with a good evening, and you take the stairs up to the second floor. Sophie opens the door to room 209. Inside are all the amenities you could expect from a modern apartment, and some you wouldn't have deemed necessary just the previous night, including thick blinds on the windows. The back room has a comfortable-looking bed and a thick steel door with several sturdy-looking locks but no windows. Well, how do you like it? This is great. Jesus, Manhattan. I'm assuming that this is at least a 1.5 mil apartment by the look of it. It's great, thank you. I'm glad. Make yourself at home. Tomorrow I will take you hunting and discuss the blood in more detail. I'll let you get comfortable. The keys are by the television set. I'll come pick you up tomorrow night. Use the back room for rest. You can lock the doors just in case. Stings a bit when she leaves. Like the room suddenly became a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing. No regular food either. Feels strange that Kadir could be a more thoughtful host than your new sire, even if only in that respect. You briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. With nothing left to do, you lie on the couch with the TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Kojak reruns. President of the United States got himself in serious trouble again. President of the United States got himself out of trouble again. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seemed a little less insignificant just 2 days ago. start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many more before you finally understand what happened to you and what you're supposed to do now? You keep coming back to the life you left behind. The people you should contact, the things you want to pick up from your apartment. You wonder when you'll have the chance for either. You start to feel the same tiredness that made you drift into a cold sleep last night. You settle in the back room. The bed's comforting, the lack of windows less so. You leave the light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize it's the closest you'll ever come to staring at the sun on a breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades and you take the plunge into darkness again. Sinking, 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 sinking. And another night gone. Folks, I think that's where we're going to call it tonight after our first night of being dead. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm planning on streaming again Thursday night. I don't know a precise time yet. I will make sure to put that up on Twitter. If you follow me at DantePD, I'm there on Twitter. I'm prolific. I live on the internet. And as I said, keep up with it, and I will see y'all here again Thursday night. And thanks for joining me. This has been Vampire the Masquerade-Coteries of New York. Good night.